This woman was about to die of thirst, but instead of drinking the half bottle of water in her hand, she poured it all over her face. Then she picked up the empty bottle and climbed up high. She started licking the metal panel where rainwater had dripped, but that didn't help at all. So she tried collecting the drops into her bottle. The water tasted like rust, and soon she started gagging. Mia had been trapped inside the shipping container for a whole week. Even worse, she was still surrounded by endless ocean. Seawater kept leaking in through small holes. But even though she was dying of thirst, she couldn't drink the salty water. Just when Mia was about to give up, she felt raindrops hit her face. She jumped up and let the rain fall on her skin like a gift from heaven. Then she grabbed every food container she had and set them on the table to catch as much rain as possible. But that water wouldn't last long. She knew she had to break out of the container. She tried using a drill, but it overheated and shut down. Now she had lost her only chance to escape. Her last 2 bottles of clean water were almost empty. The desperation made her snap. Mia started smashing everything around her. That's when she accidentally knocked out a metal file. Looking at the jagged edge, she felt a glimmer of hope. But it was nearly impossible to use. She kept sawing, but barely made a scratch. Her hands were torn and bloody, and without water, her body was reaching its limit. Then in a daze, she reached for the leftover placenta. The next morning, Mia suddenly had an idea. She calmed the baby, then got to work. There was only one side left to cut. Like opening a can, she could find a leverage point and pull it apart. She wrapped 2 straps around her hands and pulled down with all her strength. Slowly, the gap grew wider. Then she used her full body weight. And finally, the panel popped open. Sunlight hit her face for the first time in days. But as she climbed out, she didn't feel relieved. The container was just a tiny speck floating on a massive ocean. The warmth of the sun felt better than the cold darkness inside. To call for help, she wrote dozens of rescue notes, packed them into food containers, and tossed them into the sea, hoping a passing ship might find them. Even if the odds were low, she had to try. When she felt alone, she looked out across the sea and thought of her husband. With no one to talk to, Mia told her baby stories from her childhood, how she met the baby's father, and how they escaped the war together. The baby didn't understand her words, but its expression showed it could feel her pain. Watching the child sleep, Mia swore she would survive, even if it was just for one more day. She would never give up.